All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Diana Rossini talking NFL trade deadline. Who could be coming to the Niners? We hit that coming up next. First, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out, so get there early. Also, this video brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. They are at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, along the Monterey Peninsula. Call my friend Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. So thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles and Pig and a Pickle for being the sponsors of the Krug Show. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the latest. Diana Rossini from The Athletic has an article out on the NFL trade deadline, which is fast approaching. It will be here November the 5th at 1 p.m. That is the deadline. If you don't make a deal by that point, you don't make a deal. Diana Rossini is saying that the 49ers may have interest in a couple of New England Patriots, Kendrick Bourne and Davin Godchaux. Godchaux is a defensive tackle. The 49ers, to me, look pretty set at defensive tackle. You got Malik Collins, you've got Jordan Elliott, you have Kevin Givens, Kalia Davis is now back, Evan Anderson has emerged. I kind of feel like they're pretty fortified at defensive tackle. But according to Diana Rossini, the 49ers are looking at both Kendrick Bourne and Davin Godchaux as potential additions via the trade market. Now, Bourne, is a receiver that they're very familiar with. I just don't think that he's really the guy they need. He's older, he's beat up, he's not a burner. They need a complementary receiver. Their only downfield threat of note is Jacob Cowing, who's a rookie wide receiver, and they could definitely use somebody with some deep speed. So the two names that come to mind would be Darius Slayton of the New York Giants and Christian Kirk of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Two guys that are very available, two guys that can really run, two guys that could replace Ayuk as far as the vertical elements of his game that he contributes. And I just really think that without Ayuk, you have Debo, you have Pearsall, you'll have JJ coming back, you have Kittle, you have some underneath receivers. You just don't have that down the field receiver. And Kirk, I think, could do that. I think Slayton could do that. Both those guys run, either sub 4.5. I mean, Kirk runs 4.4. Slayton ran sub 4.4. He ran 4.39 coming out. So those would be the two receivers I would be looking at. Probably, if you could get a Tutu Atwell from the Rams, but after the Rams beat Minnesota the other night, maybe Tutu's not going anywhere. But to me, if there's a receiver that could be added, it's more of a vertical threat receiver than anything else. Diana Rossini also reported that the Niners kicked tires, or at least discussed internally, trading for Deforest Buckner and DJ Jones, two defensive tackles that they've had before. Now, Buckner is in Indianapolis, Jones is in Denver, and according to Diana Rossini, neither the Colts nor the Broncos are showing any interest in trading either defensive tackle, so it's probably futile. Buckner is still a tremendous player. DJ Jones is really a good run stuffer. But as I said, you have Collins, you have Elliott. Givens will come back from his groin injury. Kalia Davis is there. You got Evan Anderson. So you have five defensive interior players there. So I don't know that defensive tackle is really the need. To me, the need is wide receiver and defensive end. You're really thin at defensive end. And if you could get, I named two teams there, Jacksonville and New York. New York has Darius Slayton at wide receiver, and they have Azeez Ojulari at defensive end. Jacksonville has, a number of interesting players. They have Christian Kirk. They have Trayvon Walker if you wanted to go for a defensive end. They also have Darnell Savage, who I think is a perfect defensive back for the 49ers to try to add. Jacksonville, if you're looking to grow that deal into something bigger, they've got Christian Kirk, they've got Darnell Savage, and they also have Devin Lloyd and Walker Little if you're looking for an offensive lineman, but Devin Lloyd if you're looking for a linebacker. So the other part of the Diana Rossini report was that Mooney Ward could be on the move. Ward is a free agent at the end of the year. The Niners were going to sign either Lenore or Ward, and it's pretty clear they're going to sign Lenore. And so if If, they feel like they could get a market for Mooney Ward, and I'm sure there is a market for Mooney Ward, then maybe you see him moved at the deadline in a deal that moves him away. But if you're going to have to cut a player like Mooney Ward, maybe the 49ers would prefer to get some kind of draft pick compensation for him instead of getting nothing at all and letting him walk as a free agent. So some definite names to consider as the trade deadline approaches. I would say Jacksonville could be a target for the Niners. The New York Giants could be a target for the 49ers. It'll be interesting to see what the Niners try to get done. What are their needs? I would say it's defensive end, defensive back, linebacker, defensive tackle, and speed at wide receiver. They could go in a different direction and look for some other pieces, but to me, maybe you could do a deal with the New York Giants for Darius Slayton and Azeez Ojulari. Maybe you could do a deal with Jacksonville for Christian Kirk or Darnell Savage or Devin Lloyd or Trayvon Walker. But to me, those two teams, Jacksonville and the New York Giants, I think are probably the two teams that match up best with the 49ers trade-wise as the November 5th trade deadline quickly approaches. All right, that's going to do it for the video. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.